So what to do when a friendship is toxic? I think we all have these in our lives, or have gotten rid of people who are toxic, or still have them. So maybe this is useful for most of the people out there. Now, the first point is to look at what does it mean to be toxic, because I think this is one of those trend words that we really don't know how to define. Like, what is toxic? Does that mean they make you feel like crap about yourself? They drag you down? I think we need to accept that there will always be ups and downs in people's lives and people's friendships, and we really need to differentiate that to being toxic. So for me, somebody being toxic is mostly when, or more interactions than none, I come out feeling drained, I feel low about myself, I feel very negative, and I tend to pass that negativity onto somebody else, or I find that it really drastically shifts my mood. So that's when I start to know that someone is a toxic energy in my life. But I think that definition really will depend on each individual and where you see someone as maybe having a down time in life, or they're really struggling, and someone that is just toxic. Now, an important note with this is that we all have a right to boundaries. We can have a boundary which is protecting ourselves from toxic people, protecting ourselves from negativity. I think that we're made to feel very badly when it comes to this whole thing of, giving up friendships or reducing someone's impact in our life or getting rid of them as a friend, because we want to be a good person. We want to be a good friend. We want to be, somebody, well, I hope you want to be a good person and a good friend. And if somebody is toxic, it can sometimes be a real struggle to make that decision, but you also need to have a look at your boundaries and what impact it's having on yourself. Now, it's really important that if you're finding that interactions with someone are really difficult, see if you can resolve the issue or even conflict. An example is, maybe someone is really negative all the time and you're just finding that it gets you down a lot. You might want to have a conversation with them and say, listen, I really love our friendship and I love hanging out with you, but I just want to have a talk to you about something. I do find that when we tend to hang out, you're very negative about a lot of things in life, and it's really difficult for me because I find that it triggers me and it sets me off into that negative headspace as well. I just wanted to flag this with you because I'd really love to continue to do all these fun things and to interact, but I need you just to try sometimes to look at what is in life instead of what isn't. Now, that can go a numerous directions. Somebody might tell you to get lost, but I think if the friendship has been there for a long time, if you're good friends and there's something that's going on that you think that you can articulate, then try and see if you can resolve it first. If you don't feel like you can resolve that issue or that conflict, then you're faced with the decision of, do you reduce somebody's impact in your life, or do you get rid of them? So by reducing someone's impact in your life, I mean you don't see them as much anymore. They don't have as much ability to have that toxic energy rub off on you. Now, there are two great ways to do that. We'll put in a third just because I'm feeling lucky. One is to do group catch up. So you've got a group of friends, that person's part of that group, and you're able to say, let's all catch up. Oh, we need to invite so-and-so. I haven't seen him or her in ages. Let's all go out for a drink. So there's a little bit of a buffer, or maybe there's multiple buffers in the situation. Also doing activities where you have to focus on a particular task instead of focusing on each other and downloading and getting into that toxic stuff. It might be something you can do together as a form of a catch-up where you don't have to be faced with each other all the time. Or it can be doing more phone catch-ups than in-person catch-ups where you're able to say, hey, I've got a work call coming in, I've got to go. So you can still have a little bit of a connection there, but you don't have to see them at length. Now, if you are going to, I hate the word boot, but get rid of someone in your life, you're faced with the decision of, do you break up with a friend or do you ghost them? It's a really difficult one. I've had both situations in my life, and if you feel like you can articulate why you're breaking up with them, which is not to have a dig at them, but being able to say, hey, I think that we have some differences here, I just don't think this friendship is really healthy for me, or something like that. Ghosting can also hurt as well and can be a bit of a slap in the face. Most importantly, you need to remember that we are all different and we do need to respect each other's differences. So whether it's toxic or not, sometimes we need to be friends with somebody, but take a moment to step back and remember that we are different people, and that's okay. So I hope that helps you navigate toxic friendships, and I wish you all the best with that. Bye.